I'm beginning to think he doesn't like being around me anymore for certain things, because I do things in a manner that he don't like, including asking and talking and saying certain things that he doesn't like me to say or ask him, or certain shit. I don't think he likes me that much anymore now, and I think he tries to avoid being around me like he used to. I think to a degree, he doesn't like the fact that I tend to try to ask him for a career and precise thing, or specific time and specific stuff and things, that he literally tries to avoid it and get around the point and completely try to act like I didn't do anything or say anything. I think he very much tries to avoid the concept of having to be there and do it. I think Trav does what Trav wants to do. That's what I think. I think he's definitely a person that does what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, at whatever time he wants to do it. I think he's the type of guy that doesn't answer to other people. I think to a degree, I think he is definitely a person who just literally does things in a manner where he doesn't like certain people putting him under a situation where he has to do certain things. I think he does things the way he wants it. And then when people start to question things or say stuff or get angry at him, or, in my opinion, start to put him in a position where he has to answer or do stuff, he avoids them. He goes ghost. I think he doesn't like it. I think he has the mentality of chasing whatever he wants to chase. And that's the fact. Okay, I'll go right. And that's fine. Like, he can do that. But I think he doesn't want to be put in a situation where he has to deal with anything, including possibly having to be in a situation where he has to meet another person or be there or do whatever, or shit. I think to a degree he does what he wants. I think when he gets put in a situation where he has to answer what he's done, or he has to say stuff, or he has to confront someone, he runs away. He goes ghost. And that's the problem. And I do think that's it. I think that's a lot of it. Because as soon as I started talking to him and saying things to him yesterday, and I started doing things to him in a text, he completely... the dude went completely silent, and he went... he ghosted me. He completely went... He stopped talking. He didn't say anything. And I wasn't being a dick. I was just like, bro, why didn't you show up to hang out with me and do shit? Why didn't we play? You promised me you would hang out for a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days and shit, and stuff. And I just wanted to know why you wouldn't be there when you said you were going to be there, or you were going to be there to hang out, and stuff. And why didn't you? Why? It's it. Like, you told me, like, I don't get it, And I think he hated this most of all. I really do think he hated this. Having to be confronted with the truth and having to admit to something that he he did, but he doesn't want to, do it, and everything. And that was, what was that? That was, I said, hey, hang out, and everything. And I was like, bro, I was there to hang out with you and to be there and do shit with you when you needed it, when you were alone and shit, when you're by yourself. It's like, why can't you do that for me? Like, why can't, it's like, why not do that for me? And then he had nothing to say. It's like, bro, kind of stuff, right, and shit, I was there to do shit for you, and everything. Like, why can't, like, where are you, when, why aren't you there for me when I need it? I was there for you, and everything, right? And shit, and to hang out with me and to do stuff. and to play. And then I said, like, you were gonna hang out with me, you know, everything. You were gonna, what am I trying to say? You were gonna, we were gonna play that day when you said you got off of work and shit and stuff. And he was like, he didn't want to be confronted with all this shit. And he didn't want to deal with it at all. He said, you know, he said whatever, and it's like, I don't want to deal with any of this. And I don't want to go about this. You know, and stuff. It's funny how when you're confronted with trying to escape shit, it catches up to you and it finds you anyway, dude. Right? You think you can run from doing somebody wrong. You can't. You can't. You can't run from doing somebody wrong, dude. Karma catches up to your ass. You can't. You can't run from treating someone badly. Karma will eventually catch up to you. And it will get you. You know? He can run all he wants, but eventually he's going to face the fact that he's going to have to do it eventually, right? Or else I'm not going to be around anymore, you know? But you eventually have to deal with the fact of treating someone badly. You have to deal with karma. You have to deal with what you do to somebody. You can't run from it. It will eventually catch up to you and get you. You know what comes to, right? And when you promise somebody something and you break it and you say you're going to do all this shit and you don't do it, you can run all you want and sit there and act like I don't want to deal with this, but it's eventually going to get to you and it's going to come back to you either way. And you're going to have to deal with it. And you might have to suffer for it too. Karma has a funny way of catching up to people, bro. It does. And I wasn't being an asshole. I wasn't being mean. I just wanted to know why he did what he did, you know? And I just wanted to know, I just wanted to talk and have a conversation and discuss this like normal people, you know, and talk this out and solve this situation and figure it out. I wanted to know why he did what he did. He wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't say nothing. He completely went silent and ghost. He didn't care. He didn't care. You know? He's like, I don't want to talk about this, and then we're discussing this shit. And then I throw all this like truth, facts, all this shit at him, hard hitters, and all sorts of things, you know? And I start confronting him, wanting to talk about this, and he runs and hides like a coward. And he goes and he runs and hides like a coward. And he goes ghost. He disappears. You know? I mean, dude calls himself a man, but seriously, dude. You run from another grown-ass man who's trying to confront you on shit. I mean, that's sad. It really is. It's sad. You know, when it comes to, right, that you can't just sit here and talk to me for a certain amount of time. You can't just sit here and have a conversation with me and us talk this out and solve this issue, and we begin to figure out something so shit can be better in the future. You know, you can't just sit there for 5 minutes and we talk over text or we discuss this issue and figure out how to solve this problem and do it better and fix it, and then we can go on. No, but you gotta go completely ghost. You gotta ignore everything I say. You gotta act like you don't care. Play the victim like you didn't do anything wrong. Like he sits there and says, I didn't do anything wrong, you know, when it comes to it, right? And everything. And it's like, and I'm like, you lied. And he's like, no, I didn't. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you did. And I was like, I've got a very damn good memory, you know? I don't forget this shit. And he hated that shit. He hated that crap when I brought that up. He hated when I said that. Because when I started doing that, and telling him all these things he did that I remember, oh, he couldn't stand it, bro. He couldn't. He went 100% silent and ghost, you know? I'm not the Dick, I'm not the bad person here. I'm not the victim. I'm not a dick. You know what it comes to, right? I was just trying to get confirmation and trying to figure out what was going on. I just wanted to know why he was doing what he's doing. I just wanted to solve a situation, figure it out. I wanted to figure out how to do it. So we could get back to hanging out and playing together again. And maybe possibly playing Dying Light in the future. Which I wanted to. You know? And he told me he wanted to, too. But then he lied to my ass, right? You know, and everything and stuff. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. I don't give a damn, Mark, when it comes to it, right? But, you know, the fact that you can't take time out of your day and you're that fucking busy to not talk to me, you know? And say, I can't do this right now, or I don't want to do this, or, you know, I don't want to go about this. And I say, you can't take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time out of your day to talk to me and discuss this and let's solve this issue and have, you know, do something. Just goes to show that that's sad. You're running away from something you refuse to confront and admit to. Because you know it's true. Dude, people don't run from something. People don't run from something unless they're guilty. They don't. Innocent people don't have no problem admitting that they fucking, you know, that they're not guilty or that, you know, they didn't do anything wrong. Innocent people know they done anything wrong. So they got nothing to admit to. You know? Run from. Only guilty people run from shit, bro. This motherfucker's running because he's guilty. He's guilty, he knows he's wrong, and he knows that he did something he's gonna have to pay for eventually, right? He will, you know? Only guilty people run from shit, dude. They're freaking guilty and everything. I'm not the dick here. I'm not the bad person. You know, he may be ignoring me, but okay, that's fine. I'm just saying I want a conversation with you to solve this issue. You know? You didn't have any problems with me until recently, but now you do. We're two grown-ass men. This is sad that this motherfucker wants to run from me. And what? I'm younger than him? This is sad. This is fucking sad. It is. I'm way younger than this motherfucker. He's running from me. He's going to hide. He's going ghost. He doesn't want to discuss this real shit and stuff. He wants to completely ignore me. He doesn't want to talk about the issue or discuss this shit. And shit about why did you ditch me and then promise me you were going to hang out with me and do shit, and then you completely changed it and didn't do it. And you didn't tell the truth when it comes to, right? And you had nothing to say to me when I asked you, you know, I was there to hang out with you and do shit with you when you needed it, when you were alone and stuff, and be there for you. And I was up at 5 in the morning to play a way out with you, but you don't do it for me when you say you're gonna do it, or I want to hang out and stuff, right? And you're chasing this this girl and whatever. I don't care. I care less. I don't like her, like I said. But, bro, that's what makes me angry. It doesn't make me angry with the fact that, you know, he's ghosting me. He don't want to talk to me, and we have issues. I mean, we have that problem. You know, it comes. We're not hanging out. It makes me angry. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to discuss this shit. You don't want to have a regular conversation and talk this out. You want to run like a fucking bitch. You know what I'm saying, right? You do. You want to run like a bitch. You want to run like a coward. And not talk to me. This motherfucker wants to run like he's something, you know. He wants to run like he's scared of me. You know, you're scared of me? You know what comes to right? I thought you always think, I thought he always used to think he was better than me. Right? Now it's interesting how this come full. Now it's interesting how this shit has come full-fledged force into shit. You know what it comes to, right? You want to run from me? I just wanted a conversation. I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk this out. I wanted to discuss this shit. I just wanted to know why you did what you did. And you didn't answer any of my questions or anything I said to you, and you didn't talk to me. You just ignored me. And then he wonders why I chose to cuss him out, right? Yes, I did cuss him out. You know, cuss him, right? Because in all honesty, I felt like you didn't give a damn about what I said, or you didn't, you know, or you're ignoring me again like you have done in the past, and you're completely just giving me the cold shoulder, you know? And why wouldn't I throw shots at this motherfucker, right? And everything. I don't care who you are. You don't do that to somebody, man. Especially someone that you've been friends with for years and that you trusted and that you were really loyal with and that you helped you through a lot of shit and was good to you and that you thought stuck by you. But I guess I was wrong, bro. You know what comes in, right? You don't do that to someone. You don't completely just you don't completely just throw them out in the cold. You know what it comes to, right? And shit. You don't just completely leave them there with nothing and ignore them and go completely ghost when it comes to, right? You don't just do that to someone that you've been friends with or you know for a long time or someone that you're really good with, you know? You don't just throw them, say, to the proverbial wolves when it comes to, right? And don't say nothing. We're two grown-ass people. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not afraid to talk. I'm not afraid to confront and talk with someone and discuss something to solve it and to figure it out when it comes to, right? This is what makes me angry, dude, right? We're two grown-ass men. Dude, you want to fucking come talk to me? Come talk to me. I'm fine about it and everything, right? You got something to say to me? Say it to me in my face and everything, right? Or, you know what it comes to, right? Come talk to me one-on-one, person to person, or say in a party chat, right? And stuff. You want to discuss something with me? Discuss it with me like a man. I'm not scared, you know? But let's talk this out like two freaking grown-ass people and solve this issue. That's what I was trying to do. I wanted to know why the motherfucker just ditched me and left me alone and then lied to my face and didn't show up when he told me he was going to show up. You know, it comes to, right? Right? I mean, wouldn't y'all or people in general, wouldn't you have a problem with someone doing that to you and then I'm not saying anything to you and then you wondering like, what the fuck? You know, why'd this happen? Seriously, you know, you're not getting anything, not one bit of shit. And then you take your time out of your day to do shit and you waste it because you thought something was going to happen that didn't happen. And people hate it, dude, when you waste their motherfucking time. Their time is valuable. They appreciate their time. And they hate when you waste their motherfucking time, you know? So when you do shit, people are not happy. When they take a certain amount of time out of your day to do shit, you waste it, right? All I wanted was an answer. All I wanted was the truth. All I wanted was for you to say to me why you did what you did. And we could have moved on and solved the fucking thing. You know what it comes to, right? But the reason why I cussed this motherfucker out is because he didn't do anything. He didn't say anything to me, and he didn't give me an answer. And he didn't do anything. So then I got really angry, and I gave him a piece of my mind because he wouldn't even tell me why he wouldn't show up. When I did it for him, I said, when I did it for you, you won't do it for me. You know what I was saying, right? Just basic, simple questions and stuff that actually mattered. Motherfucker just completely went ghost and did not care. He completely ignored everything I said. I was perfectly civil, fine, and normal, and had a conversation. you know, and stuff. And I texted him, and he said, I got plans later. And I asked him, why can't we hang out? And shit. And he's like, I got plans. And like, you always got plans. You always got things to do when me and you are gonna hang out. And stuff. And I just wanted to know why. Why all these things happen, and what happened. And then he told him, you know, you told me you and her were no longer together. And he's like, oh, well, we got back together. And you didn't even fucking bother to say anything to me when it comes to it, right? I get it. That's personal. Maybe you don't want to tell me that, and that's fine. But you could have at least told me why the fuck we couldn't we could not hang out on those days when you said you would. And everything all right. And stuff. And everything. And crap, right? Couldn't hang out. I get it. We can't do stuff together. I mean, I get it. That's your personal life, and I'm not gonna get into someone's personal life. I don't condone that, right? And I'm not gonna pry into why the fuck they got back together. That's not my problem, right? I just want to know why the fuck he didn't show up when he told me he would. And you said you were free and we could hang out, and you promised me, and you said this shit. But I chose to be up at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. You know, close to right. No, sorry. I chose to be up at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. To hang out with you and play with you when she ditched your freaking ass and left you alone. You deserved it, by the way. Because the way you treat people always comes back to bite you in the ass. I chose to be at 5 o'clock in the morning playing with this motherfucker when he was alone by himself. And he told me, my girl left me again. She ditched me and left me alone for what happened. Well, you deserve it, don't you? You know what it comes to, right? And shit. And I chose to be up at 5 in the morning playing with this motherfucker when I could have been doing fuck all else. I could have been studying. I could have been sleeping. Hell, I could have gone a second to Charles. You know what comes to, right? And shit. But because I'm a nice guy, and I chose to do things because I like him, and he's always been a good friend to me, and I've always been there for him when he needed it, I chose to play at 5 in the morning with this motherfucker. But he doesn't do it for me. That's ironic, isn't it? You say nothing. You go ghost. You don't answer anything I tell you. And you wonder why I say the things I do. You know? It cuss someone out. You don't even give me a proper answer. You know? I don't mind. I don't like people and what they do half the time with shit. But I cannot get, it makes me angry. And I cannot stand it when you when you say something and you don't do it, you promise it or you're gonna do it and it doesn't end up happening. Oh, that makes me mad, very mad. And everything on general, right? And stuff. But we're two grown-ass people, dude. And shit. Most people nowadays hide behind the internet. They do all this crap. They hide behind social media. They don't want to talk to you one-on-one because they're afraid of what's going to happen to them if they have to face you in person. And they don't want to talk to you face-to-face. And if they have to end up confronting you in person, they're afraid of you when it comes to it, right? They don't like you. You know? And shit. Right? They don't like you. They don't. Nowadays, people will talk all this stuff behind the internet. They say all these things and they'll act tough and they'll try to do these things. But then when they have to confront the truth or they have to confront something with shit, or they have to confront someone coming to them face to face, or, you know, or let's just say they have to deal with the consequences of their own actions and what they do. Because, like, you know, what was that old saying when it came to it? That old YouTuber, what was his name? Not DSP, but somebody else. Gosh. Wings of Redemption. Wings of Redemption's old saying is consequences have actions, pimp. They do. Right? And shit. And stuff. And they have to face the consequences of their own actions, or they have to deal with confronting that person face to face after doing what they do. They run away and they hide and they're cowards. And they don't want to face you one-on-one. You know? But it's even more funnier to me, and even more sad, and even more ridiculous that we're two grown-ass men, you know, we're two grown-ass people, you know, right? That have been friends for a long time, and we've known each other for a while. And we've been pretty good friends. And, you know, we can't just discuss and have a conversation and talk like normal people and solve this issue and talk this out and try to find a solution and try to have a conversation where we can solve what happened so we can fix it in the future. And just for him to just answer basic questions, and maybe we can find a way to do something. You can't even fucking answer the goddamn question or any of my questions. You can't even tell me why the fuck you avoided me and why you never showed up and why you never ended up agreeing to doing what you said you were gonna do. And you never ended up, you know, being there when you were supposed to be there, like you said you would. Those simple things go a long way toward a person doing shit. People do not like you just doing something and then wasting their fucking time. You know what it comes to, right? This motherfucker can go around chasing whatever he wants all day. He can play games and do whatever the fuck he wants. He can just dawdle whatever fucking crap and whatever crap he wants. And he's got all the time in the world to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, right? Some people don't, okay? They don't. I don't. I'm working on my life. I'm doing things to trying to work on a career. I'm actually trying to build on things to be successful. You know what it comes to, right? This motherfucker has all this time where he can just, you know, go and do whatever. Most people don't. You know? Motherfucker has a job, but oh, he just does all this crap, right? You know, and shit. You know? He has a job. But then, you know, he has all this time just dawdling and whatever crap. That's fine. That's fine. But most people don't have like having their time wasted. You can just say, you can just go do whatever and then tell everybody whatever and just do whatever. And you can just do all this crap and get away with it, I guess. Because that's what this girl does. But I'm not like that. And maybe that's why he don't like me anymore. You know, because things have changed between us. You know? Our lives are different now. But, you know, it's funny. You know? You think you can just tell somebody something and then just completely go back on it and do whatever the fuck you want to do. And then just go off and just party and whatever the fuck you want to do. You know? And let's party and say I got plans and I got all this shit and I'm busy. And immediately just go back on what you say you do. And just ditch your friend and leave him alone in the dark when it comes to right. After saying you were gonna hang out with him. That's rich. It really is. It's rich that, that's what you do. You know? But that's fine. That's fine. In every single way. It's just sad, though. But karma will come back to get his ass, and he will have to pay, and in the end, it will come out. The truth will come out, it always does. You know what it comes to, right? And it's really sad, but I didn't do anything to deserve what I got and what came toward me. And I just did the best with what came with the situation. I even prepared everything to be ready for shit and to do it, and it didn't happen. I remember a specific incident back in, I say, July, you know, after my dad died, of course, where we were gonna hang out, and this is, I think, after he went through his divorce and shit, right? I had got a controller dock. We were gonna play a game together. I don't remember what it was. Probably like Breakpoint or something, I think. And and I actually was really sick around that time, but I chose to. I really wanted to hang out and play. So the following day, I think it was either working or he was doing something. I don't remember what it was. I charged my headset. I had my controller charged. I got everything ready the following night or following day. Then I showed up and he told me he literally had something else planned and we could not hang out. And it didn't work. And so I just think it's funny. I really do. I did nothing to him at all. I don't deserve any of that. And all I did was to be a good person and a good friend to him. And this is bullshit. I felt like I got cheated, you know? And it ain't right. Because I showed up and I was there for him when he needed it. He didn't do it for me, you know? He didn't. Seriously. You know, I'm usually sometimes up in the mornings recording and studying for my course. And because I was up that day, I thought, fuck it, you know. I'll hop on and I'll play. I'll hop on and I'll play for a bit because I'm going to be up for a while and, you know, I'm not going back to sleep anytime soon. So I'll hop on and I'll play a way out when he texts me at 5 o'clock. When I could have been doing other shit. You know? Because I like him and I wanted to hang out with him because he's my friend, but I did it for him, but, you know, and I did something very, you know, I did something probably a lot of people will not do, or in general, I did something for him that was really nice, unfortunately, because I could have taken my time out to study and work on my, my career for computers and shit, right? Or whatever. And I think back to that day, or I think back to that a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, you really screwed me over bad. You screwed me bad. And when people screw me bad, it doesn't ever go well for them. You know, when it comes to right, it doesn't. And when you talk shit about me, or you bring up stuff against me, or you try to compete with me, or you try to start throwing shots at me, or you try to put me down, or you try to start insulting me, dude, you get karma, and you get destroyed, and you get exactly what you deserve, you know? You know, I've been a nice guy for way too long. I think I'm going back to the way I used to be, you know? Because I'm tired of it. But I had a point where I was in my nice guy phase where I was really nice and I had changed a lot and I was a better guy and I had become a better person because I had changed a lot. I was in my phase where I had changed and I had become really nice and friendly and I had become a really good guy, you know? But people keep pushing me back to that, right? You know, I'm a really nice guy, but like, I don't like being screwed. And if you try to screw me, bad things happen to you. When it comes to that, right? your whole perspective will be ruined in a second when it comes to right. I don't care who you are. I've had plenty of past feuds with people on YouTube and on the internet, and motherfuckers, they got decimated and destroyed by me. They got killed. Go look at my past videos. They got their ass freaking demolished to a point where they never came back again. They never showed their face ever again. They got their ass toppled over like dominoes. What comes to right? And shit. It's sad. It's sad because I'm such a nice guy and I try to be really good and hold shit, you know, to cuss it right. You know, it's shit. And I'm a very friendly person and a great person to get along with, and I have a lot of people that like me. And for the most part, I'm pretty cool, calm, and collected. But I don't like, you know, I'm a very nice and friendly guy and a good person. I don't like being screwed, or I don't like people doing shit to me when I didn't do anything at all and I don't deserve it. I didn't do anything to him, or I didn't do anything to deserve what I got. I didn't. I didn't do anything to end up in the situation I did. I didn't do anything to him. All I did was just ask, can we hang out and play and do shit? And he told me we were gonna hang out. And there was one day where I was busy, yes, and I had stuff to do with my life and I didn't have the time. And I told him, we're not gonna be able to hang out today, but that's a very rare occurrence. And that was only one day. The rest of the time, though, I kept asking him, do you want to play? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to do shit together? You want to play later? And he's like, no, I got plans. I kept asking and planning things with this motherfucker for a lot of days. I literally tried to hang out with him. It's not like I didn't try, and it's not like I didn't do it. You know, I had one day where I actually had some issues, you know, apparently, and he wanted to hang out. But then, you know what I think happened? I think because he couldn't hang out with me that day, I think he went back to his girlfriend, because he didn't like the fact that I told him that I, you know, wasn't going to be available that day. You know, he got a little bit of taste of his own medicine to a degree with what he's done to me. And, you know, and I told this motherfucker, I kept asking, do you want to hang out and play later? Or do you want to do shit? He kept saying, I got plans and I'm always busy. So I just gave up. Dude, I literally gave up at that point. I stopped texting him. I stopped messaging him. I stopped saying anything for a long time until yesterday, when we finally spoke. This motherfucker didn't speak to me for a whole goddamn week. You know, several days. And then all of a sudden you text me the following day, now that you're busy, and you can now talk to me? What the kind of shit is that? You know what it comes to, right? Seriously. You don't text me for a whole week and say anything, and then you come at me and now want to talk to me. You know, or you want to talk, you want to hang out with me, and you don't text me for a whole week, and then you finally say, do you want to hang out and play? Or you tell me you're busy, and you know, and everything, and then immediately text me and say, you want to hang out? I don't have anything going on. It's just like, I don't get it, right? And then, unlike him, I actually bothered to try to make plans to hang out several times, and I tried to talk to him. Except for that one day, I was perfectly fine being able to play or hang out whenever, or whatever. I was available. And I was gonna, you know, and I had made plans to do things with him. You know, and everything. uh, fuck, you know, I had made plans to do whatever I did with him and shit, and us hang out, definitely. I'm telling you right now, definitely, you know. And I was available, and I kept texting motherfuckers saying you want to play later and shit. I'm available, you know, for several days, except maybe for, I guess I could say, Friday, Thursday or Friday. Is when I told him I couldn't hang out that day because I was busy and I had stuff going on that day and I was tired because I had gone to bed, right, and shit. Maybe Thursday. I text this motherfucker, Friday, you want to hang out? Want to do shit? I got plans. I text this motherfucker, Saturday, you want to hang out? I got plans. And I got shit going on, you know, and stuff. And then I text this motherfucker and he texts me back at the last minute yesterday at the Pacific time, and I say to him, you know, and he's like, you want to hang out later? And he's like, no, I got stuff going on, and I got plans. And I was like, you've always got plans, you know, and shit, when it comes to me and hanging out, but when it's you with me, you know, you have a specific way of doing things, don't you? When it's me wanting to hang out with you, you don't want it, but, you know, and you say, I'm busy, but when, you know, it's you contacting me, then you expect me to be there, you know, right when you want me to be. And shit. And shit, right? And stuff. And I asked him, I said to him, why didn't we hang out that day? And everything. And he's like, you lied. And then I'm like, you know, you told me you were gonna hang out after work that day when I was available, and you never showed up. And he said, I don't want to talk about this right now and shit. And I said, you told me that you two had gotten they were no longer together, and he said we got back together and all this shit. And then I asked him, and then I kept telling him all this stuff after I told him I remember what you did. And I was up, you know, and I reminded him, and I threw that memory right in his face, you know, and everything. And I told this motherfucker, I said, I was up with you at 5 o'clock in the morning playing A Way Out and shit, and there for you when you needed it. Why can't you be there for me, or why can't you do shit with me? You know what it comes to, right? Why can't you show up to hang out with me when you told me you were gonna hang out with me? Play with me, right? You made me a promise and you said we were gonna hang out and do shit together. You know? Because I thought we were friends, and I thought we were friends, and I thought we hung out a lot, or I thought that we were gonna hang out, because we used to hang out a lot, or we had specific times we would hang out and do shit, you know. You used to tell me this shit. Friday nights are my specific time to, you know, relax and chill and do whatever the fuck I want to do. That's what he told me. He said, I told my girl Friday nights are the times where I Friday nights are the times when I want to be able to do what I want to do, right? And he didn't ever show up, right? I think he did promise me at one point on one Friday night, or one Friday, that we would play the following day, or we would play that day when he got off of work or whatnot. I don't remember. He didn't. So I don't get it. How come I show up for you and I hang out with you and I do shit for you, and I hang out with you, I play games with you, and I do things for you, or I'm there for you, you know, when it comes to, right, and stuff. Or I'm up at 5 in the morning doing shit and hanging out with you, but you don't show up to play Dying Light too. You don't show up to play Dying Light with me. You know? I remember the last time we played we had some technical difficulties. I remember we both couldn't play multiplayer yet because we had no lock co-op for Dying Light yet. And then we played a way out for a little while. He gets off. He has to take his daughter to work and some other shit. You know, I play Dying Light. I get to co-op mode. I tell him I unlock co-op and we were gonna play, you know, and shit. And we were talking, and he told me he was busy that day. And then he texted me to hang out, and I didn't even know he was able to do stuff. He was able to hang out. We were able to play together. And then because I couldn't hang out, or because I wasn't up to hanging out that day, he told me we would hang out the following day, you know? And then we were going to play Dying Light once we, you know, since we both unlocked co-op mode and all that shit. He had downloaded it, he was playing it, and he had got on to play it. He had got on to hang out and play it with me, or he had played Dying Light, you know, when it comes to, right? He was playing Dying Light before I got on at 5 o'clock for us to try to play it together, but then we were having issues that day. So we played a way out instead. But then he said, we're going to play Dying Light in the future, now they got co-op or something. And, you know, I said, I'm going, you know, you say you want to play, and I was like, no, I'm going to bed. And he's like, I'm tired, you know, and he's like, and stuff and everything. And he said, okay, that's fine, we'll play tomorrow when I get off work, you know, and everything, right? And stuff, and he gave me a thumbs up. And, I know I've already said this shit to a degree, but, he gave me a thumbs up, and, I thought we were good to go. So I wake up the next day and we hang out and play. And I wake up and I text this dude and he says, I got plans. I'm busy. You know? But the following day was supposed to be our time to hang out and play together. With Dying Light. You told me this. You know? And shit. You said you were going to be able to hang out and play. And the thumbs up and shit. And he's like, he basically said, specifically, and I can quote, because I don't forget shit, you know, it comes to right. We'll play the following day. We'll play after I get off work, or we'll play the following day. It's cool. That's fine. We'll play tomorrow. You'll go to sleep and we'll play tomorrow. Or something. I don't remember it specifically, but yeah, that's part of it. And he did not show up. And that was the beginning of us just stop talking to each other. Stop texting. I stopped asking to hang out. You know. I believe when he told me he had to deal with a bunch of shit that day, it was busy. That was Thursday. And then he said he could hang out. And then the following day, I went to sleep, and then I think that was Friday when I woke up or something. I don't remember the specific day. And I do remember the specific day with the way out. I recorded the video. Well, I record several videos. And and then I wake up, and I think it's... And then I text him on Saturday, and he said, you know, I said, you want to hang out? He's like, no, I got plans. You know? And then Sunday or something, you know. It was a weekday or something, obviously, when we hung out, so I don't think it was maybe like... It had to be Wednesday or Thursday or something. Tuesday. I don't remember. Let me see. Oh, lost my phone. Oh, jeez. Ah, fuck, my phone died. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh. But yeah, I don't know. He just he told me he was busy. Then he texted me at the last second, telling me he wanted to hang out. Then he says we're gonna hang out the following day. And I'm ready to play and hang out, and I'm putting my shit a day aside for that. And able to do stuff. Then he ditches me at the last second and tells me he can't hang out and I got plans. And then I make one final attempt to try to hang out with him again. And say, you want to hang out? And then he says, I got plans again. And I just completely stop after that. And then I think I made one more try, I believe, yesterday. Where I did reach out to him. I did text him before I decided to, I think, get off, go to bed, whatever. You know, after recording or doing content and then studying for the day. And when I'm getting ready to, I believe, do whatever for the day, that's when he texts me and we get in this big argument and situation over text. So I don't know. And I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's gonna go on now, so you know. But I didn't cuss him out intentionally or on purpose, you know, when it came to it. He just wouldn't do basic shit, much less talk to me and have a conversation or answer basic questions I was asking it. He wouldn't let me talk to him and us discuss this shit and try to figure it out and solve it. He wouldn't let me he wouldn't let me and him talk. He said, you know, he kept ignoring me and not wanting to talk to me. And he said, I don't want to talk about this right now, you know, and everything, right? And shit. So, what does that mean? When are we going to have a chance to talk about it? Because you're always busy. So, when are we going to talk about it? It's best to talk about it now, when I'm available and I can figure it out, then later, when I'm not. Because I'm busy. Wouldn't have been able to talk about it then. Because I was literally up playing Uno for several hours after that bullshit happened on the fucking Switch. So, yeah. No, I would have been busy doing other things. So it's best to talk it out now. So when would we discuss this issue and talk about it? When he said, I don't want to talk about it later, when are we going to talk about it? We gotta talk about it eventually. But he said, I don't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it later. I don't know when later is with him anymore. Because he's always got shit going on. So, I don't know what that means. I don't. Anyway. Like, I can't be the only one that finds it really, really annoying. And I can't be the only one that finds it really, really annoying and very, rage-inducing and, shit. When someone promises you plans and whatever and stuff to do, or they tell you things, or you take time, or you do certain things, or you schedule things for your day, and then they go back on their word and they completely cancel, or they don't come through, and they lie, or they do certain things to where they waste your time and the stuff, they waste your day and the time you have in your day and what you have going on. They waste your, they waste the hours and the stuff you have left, or the stuff you have because you chose to set that day aside to do things with that person or them in particular. And then they waste your whole day when you could have been doing other stuff that other better stuff, right? I can't be the only one that does not like having their time wasted, and people, I can't be the only one that does not like having their time wasted, and then people changing their plans and doing things differently at the last second. Just to waste your whole day away because you chose to put things aside for that particular day to do things. And then it's infuriating and rage-inducing with the person that does that, because they end up taking away other stuff you could have been doing with the day for themselves, and then wasting your valuable time because they don't give a shit, just to make your day, just to make sense your life and everything so much harder, and to cause issues, to make things a lot more difficult than it should be, all because they could have showed up when they said they were going to show up, and make sure that they show up when they said they were going to show up, and come through with the plans they said they were going to come through with, and be there when they said they were going to be there, and come through with the shit they told you. In other words, do exactly what they said they were going to do and not waste your time, because they understand the value of your time and the way things are. And it's sad that, that's that way. But yeah, he definitely could have planned shit better and not wasted my time. I think people probably find it extremely infuriating when people waste their whole day and their time and their shit just for the sake of, because they only give a fuck about themselves and what they want, and not someone else. That is a narcissist in a nutshell, bro. A person who only wants what they want, and to waste your shit to get what they want. Even going as far as to ruin your day and waste your valuable time that you have. And